welcome back. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the rebranded podcast. This is now the One Body Podcast.
Woo!
Brought to you by your
Juice
co-host.
and Toya.
Exactly. I'm your co-host, Juice.
And I am Toya. Welcome to the One Body Podcast. We are so excited to be bringing this podcast back and just sharing all of the wonderful things that we have to share with you.
We have
it's
a lot
been
to
a
talk
journey.
About. Yeah, for sure. And if you're new here and you haven't checked out our podcast before, go to the Juice and Toya podcast channel. That's where most of our episodes live if you want to watch, or you can just listen back to some of the older episodes that we have. But we shared a lot of great information. I'll call that, I guess, the previous season. But we shared a lot of different information that a lot of you can benefit from. It's timeless, so don't feel like you have to be in the now to understand any of those episodes. So go check those out. But let's go ahead and get into it. We're not going to waste any time because we're currently doing this while our son is sleeping.
We have a son now. That's how long it's been. But we wanted to bring this back and rebrand it as the One Body Podcast.
What is
brought
One
to you
Body?
by Juice and Toya to explain to you all what One Body is, but also with this episode, we want to give you an idea of who Juice and Toya are. Mm-hmm. If you know us, it is most likely from our YouTube channel. And since we ended our last episode, we've gotten almost 1 million new subscribers, right? And so that's a lot of new people that only know us as doing workouts, and we want to give you a more broader understanding of who we are as people, as now parents, as trainers, and more than just the workouts behind the channel. So that's what this episode is all about. But first, let's get into some housekeeping.
All right, so let's kind of rewind a little bit. We just finished up the Summer Ready Challenge. Shout out to everybody. Enter applause here. Shout out to everybody who completed the Summer Ready Challenge, and some of you may be just starting. But the Summer Ready Challenge is over, but you can access it right now on our app, the Juice and Toya app. We'll link it here or down in the description. But you can also buy it for a one-time purchase. So if you do not want a Juice and Toya app subscription, you can buy it just to have for life. So plenty of options to be able to do it. But also, if you do have a subscription, you will have access to all of our other programs that we have available on our app as well. So a lot of different features, just to name a few. You can message us one-on-one. We have a nutrition tab where you can see some of our recipes that we like to post. And we have a nutrition guide if you struggle with nutrition and want to understand it better. We have motivational videos. We have sort of a guide to help you get acclimated with the app. So as soon as you get in, there's a Start Here tab that helps you just kind of understand how to navigate through the app. We have stories, live streams, and so much more. And it's only $15 a month. And that's a lot of value, a lot of access to us for that cost. So definitely recommend getting the subscription or even the annual subscription. I believe right now we also have a sale on that as well. So go check that out. Check out the Summer Ready Challenge on our other programs as well as the app subscription.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to this right now, we also have a discount for our podcast listeners. Ooh. And that will also give you 25% off. So we'll drop the link for that discount in the description as well. Or at the checkout, you can enter podcast 25 and get 25% off a monthly subscription for your first month. So you can try it out for your first week free or get that discount on your first month. All right. And then also, if you're not on our email list, make sure that you're signed up to our email list at onebodyla.com. This is where you'll see all of the other giveaways, discounts, and things that we drop. We try to send out 1 to 2 weekly emails just with information to keep you up to date, new challenges or programs that we have coming up. This summer, we'll also be doing another summer sweat series where we'll be doing some in-person workouts. And so all of that fun stuff that we have going on all the time, you'll be in the know on that as well. So make sure you're signed up for our email list. And then lastly, and then we'll get into the episode, our merch. We have our One Body LA merch, which is in sponsorship or partnership with Lululemon. So all of our merch is Lululemon branded merch. And so make sure you check that out. We have new pieces dropping pretty much quarterly, but some of the old pieces, once the sizes are gone, they are gone. So if there's something on the site that you want, grab it now before the sizes are out.
For sure. And one thing I'll add to that, most cases, 90% of the time, we're wearing some type of Lululemon. We both are Lululemon ambassadors. So also, if you see any outfits that we're wearing in the videos that you're interested in, we have the links to those in the description of the video. So if you want to check out some of the things, I know Toya gets a lot of hits with some of the outfits she wears during our workouts, but go check that out in the links underneath the description of each video to check out what we're wearing. So
beautiful.
With that being said, let's go ahead and roll it right into
Let's
it.
get
We don't like to waste time.
Let's do
You know
it.
this from our workout videos. We like to get right into it. So like she mentioned before, today is kind of a reintroduction. I know a lot of you know everything about us. You've been following our journey maybe the last 5 or 6 years. We're coming up on this episode will drop on our 6-year anniversary. YouTube anniversary. That's good. I like that. YouTube anniversary, which has been crazy for us. It's been a long journey, but it's been fun. It's been really eye-opening just to see how much of an impact we've been able to make. But this episode just is about kind of reintroducing ourselves. I think the last time we even made an episode like this, which was the first episode of our first podcast, we've gotten over 1 million subscribers since then. So some of you may be brand new here and don't know
who we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of briefly kind of skim through it. But if you want like the full story of how everything kind of came about, go listen to that first episode number 1 of the Juice and Toya OBLA podcast. So let's get into it. We'll split up a little bit. You talk about where you're from and how you got here to Los Angeles. How you got here?
So I was born in Germany and lived there till I was 7, then moved from Germany to Missouri. And then.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
To let them know, give them a little bit of German. Just like, it's a little
Hallo, wie geht's? Mein Name ist Toya. Ich bin aus Bitburg, Deutschland.
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut. We are both, I can speak, I'd say like 60% German. I can understand it better than I can speak it back to you. And then he's learning also on Duolingo.
I have a 140-day streak on Duolingo.
There you go. So he's learning
y'all.
as well. And then our goal is to also teach Jakai. I speak to Jakai in German in some way every day just to get it like into his head. And then now he does as well. So I do, if you leave a comment in German, I read it in German and try to respond back in German as best as I can.
She gets excited when she sees German comments.
So yeah, I'm from Germany and I moved then from Germany to Missouri when I was 7 and then grew up in Missouri for the most part. Went to high school, all the way up to high school in Missouri, and then went to college in Missouri as well. So from 7 to 21, I was in Missouri and then graduated college and packed up my car and drove to Los Angeles.
Why'd you do that?
It was one of those things where it was like I guess kind of backstory in high school, I was always active in sports. And then when I went to college, same thing, active in sports, wanted to be a physical therapist and then had a knee surgery, went through physical therapy and was like, I do not want to do this every day the rest of my life. I dreaded going to physical therapy and was like, I don't want to do this. So changed my major sophomore year to nutritional sciences. And then that same time, I'd say beginning of my junior year, I started competing in bikini bodybuilding competitions. So going from nutrition major to also then competing in bodybuilding, it was like I really understood for the first time how nutrition changes your body. But also at that time, I mostly ran. I was just a runner. That's what I would do. You wouldn't catch me in the gym lifting, right? And so then once I started bodybuilding, that's when I got serious about strength training and true weightlifting and not just like here and there weightlifting, and saw how my body changed. And then kind of got obsessed with that of like, wow, I didn't understand, like I knew what eating healthy was, but I didn't understand how carbs, fats, and protein each play their own respective role in your body, right? And so that's kind of how I got into personal training, because that's when I was like, oh, I want to help people change their body composition. It was more than just I want to help people lose weight. I became like very intrigued in how you can change your body composition and then started helping friends do it and people I worked with. And then that's how I got into personal training. So anyways, moved to LA because I also at the same time was doing like some very, very small like acting print stuff. And so I came to LA my junior year for this convention thing and literally was here for maybe 3 or 4 days and became obsessed with Los Angeles in that short amount of time. But I think it was also because I grew up in a small town and then went to college in Missouri. And so it was all the same thing. And then you get out and see something different. And you're like, oh my goodness, I need that. But also it was because I knew if LA didn't work out, I could just go back home, And so it was almost like, why not?
Yeah.
So ended up here, started personal training at a gym here. And that's kind of where I'll leave that.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my story. I played from Houston, Texas. Lived there my whole life. Even went to school there, went to college there. Full ride football scholarship at Rice University. Played football all 4 years. Had a couple opportunities to make it to the big leagues. Didn't happen. Very hard to do. Moved to LA just because it was a lot of different things, but mostly I lived in Houston my entire life, and I'd always been curious about living somewhere else. I mean, especially with, like I've mentioned before, football allows you to travel and see different places. So with that, I just was so intrigued on even just seeing the country. I didn't have to even move, but I just wanted to like travel a lot more. So when I came to LA the first time, I was like, oh, it was sunny every day. And I saw a sunset at the beach and the weather, I mean, I can go on and on. It was just so many things that I just loved being outside. And then I saw just like how active people were. It was always somebody running. It was always somebody like working out in a park. So I just felt like this was the place for me to just come and naturally fit in as far as just fitness or just being lifestyle. Exactly. Yeah. So moved to LA. I actually moved to LA to work at a small gym because I was still trying to train to try to get an opportunity in the NFL. But it got to a point where, if you played football before, it just beats up your body. And it got to a point where I spent some time on myself. I focused on strength, focused on healing. I feel like for most of my career, I was hurt a lot. I was battling like some nagging injuries. So it got to a point where I was like, man, I feel healthy. For the first time in years, I felt like I was like 100% healthy. So I really made the decision then. I was like, man, do I want to put my body back into that trauma again? Or do I want to just really try to find a new career and just focus on building myself and being healthy? So that's when I sort of transitioned into wanting to train. And at first I had the mentality that I wanted to train athletes. So I started to train a few athletes, but then I realized, especially when living in LA, you need consistent income. And
gotta diversify.
You gotta diversify. You can't really be super niche-y, especially starting off. So athletes are seasonal. You only get them so much of the year. So I got to the point where I love just training regular people. And my sort of methodology was to make normal people or average Joes feel like athletes, right? I wanted people to move better and feel like they can do things that they never done before. Or maybe they were former athletes back in high school and they want to feel like they can do the things that they formerly were able to do. So that was kind of my methodology as far as what I wanted for people. And that's how I started just personal training and sort of building my clientele there. So as we move forward, we didn't know each other. Obviously, as we moved here, we both moved here on a whim. We're just kind of tired. Same week. Again, didn't know each other. We both worked at a gym. I won't say what gym, but I worked there first. And I realized that all the work I did in those 3 weeks were not worth the money that I got paid. So I left. And the manager that hired me left out of nowhere. So I felt like I had no support. So I ended up leaving. And who got hired after?
I literally walked in and was like, need a job, just moved here. And they're like, yeah, we just had some people quit. When can you start? And one of those people that quit was him.
And we didn't find out this until 6 months later, until we actually met each other. So, I mean, I don't speak for you, but her stay there didn't last too long.
No, we had college degrees, and it was
for sure.
It was a small gym, and it was just not just, I guess, kind of like the goals that we had with training. We were so ambitious about it, and that just was not the home for us.
No, not at all.
And then getting into how we met, because this was probably the most asked question.
Yep.
We both tried to go work at a different gym, a larger gym, and both ended up getting hired at this gym. So we both interviewed in the same interview process, both got hired, and then kind of ramped up there and then became friends at this gym. And that's kind of like, not kind of, it is how we met, where we met, but there's so many instances before that we could have met. Like there's so many.
We lived 2 minutes away from each other.
Didn't know until 6 months into living there, you know? And so, like I said, working at that small gym, it was like, when I finally was like, yeah, I'm quitting there. Like it was so small and like, he was like, wait, I literally just quit there too. So there were so many instances that we should have run into each other, but how we ended up meeting was both working at the same gym, becoming friends there. And just like, you know, if you've lived in LA or even moved to a larger city, you know, just with nothing and just to make it work with no family, you know, like having good friends and meeting good people and like-minded people is hard to do. And then when you do that, you hold on to those people, you know? And so we had a great group of friends there that we all just kind of wanted to make it work, you know? And so we all had that same mentality. That's kind of how we became good friends and like best friends at the time, you know, just both having that same like grind and mentality and
it was
wanting
a grind,
the same thing. Yeah.
It was a grind just because at this particular gym, it's like you really got to work to get your clients. Like you really have to be present, and being present involved working like 12 to 15 hour shifts, just being available.
Being there.
Being there. So like sometimes clients would come in or people would come in looking for a trainer, and if you weren't there, you just kind of missed out. So we spent obviously a lot of time together just being on the floor, and then being kind of like the younger trainers that were there, like we kind of really stuck together and helped each other out as far as just building up our clientele. So that kind of just built up our friendship to the point where like we trusted each other. You know, we wanted to really help each other out and help each other succeed, and it just got to a point, you know, where we just fell in love, you know.
Wow. Wow.
6-7 months down the road, we just, you know, we realized like, wow, we spend a lot of time together. You know, we have a lot in common. You know,
here we are.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. And here we are almost 10 years later.
Literally 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
wow.
That's pretty much how we met. But moving forward, we worked at this gym for about 2 years to a point where we kind of realized like we can do more, we can do better, and we want to do more. We want to reach a wider community. We want to train more people because I think at the peak of my clientele, I think I had like 17 to 18 clients I was training. She was training 20 plus. But even then, we wanted to try to even do group sessions or things that kind of get us out there to where we can.
When you're giving like a whole hour there's only 24 hours in a day, you know, so there's only so many people that you can train in a day. And so it just kind of put a cap on the amount of people we could reach.
Correct.
You know?
So we both ended up quitting this job and just going out on a whim and starting our own business. And that's where we come to One Body LA, One Body Los Angeles. So that is our baby. That is our business. That was our sort of training business that sort of the idea behind One Body was you only get one body, right? You only, like if something happens to you, you know, some things in your body you just can't replace or, you know, some you can improve on certain things, but like we really want to focus on just really taking care of yourself and teaching people a sustainable way to do so too as well. So One Body is just kind of a name she actually came up with that just really stuck with us. And we started our private training business. We started to do group sessions and everything was kind of on a roll. We started to see just like the benefit of just kind of going out on a whim and doing it on our own. And then guess what? COVID.
Yeah. So 2017, we started One Body LA. But 2019, pre-COVID, and just backing it up a little, we started our YouTube channel. With that YouTube channel at that time, Instagram, I think was only like 15-second videos. So when we started One Body LA, again, we wanted to reach a wider audience, and obviously social media is a great way to do that. But at that time, Instagram was not it. Like that wasn't how there was no long form then. There were no reels. And so it was hard for us to do that on Instagram. And so we were like, let's start a YouTube channel. However, when we started this YouTube channel, it took a lot for us to actually hit start on this because we were so busy at the time that it was like, how can we start this channel and be consistent with it? And one thing that he was big on was like, if we're going to start this and put the work into it, I want it to be consistent. I don't want to start it and then a year goes by and we don't, you know. So we started it, and then it kind of got to where we got busy and it was hard to, again, we were training from some days 5 a.m. and you might have a client at 7 p.m., and so from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Throughout the day, you're training. And so there were times that we didn't see each other until it's time to go to sleep, with our different schedules. And so the only time we could film was on the weekends. And then if you're working hard throughout the week and then you're filming on the weekends, when do you have free time, So
we didn't have a life.
Yeah. And it was hard to do that. So anyways, fast forward to when COVID hit. At that time, maybe it'd been like 2 months since we'd put a YouTube video out. And so when COVID hit, gyms shut down and we were like, okay, gyms are going to be shut down for 2 weeks. At that time, it was 2 weeks. And we were like, if we can't train, let's at least put this time to our YouTube channel. So in that time, that was the first time we had free time together, like ever, honestly. It was just, even when we took time off, it was usually to go home or, we had maybe a 2 or 3 day vacation. So at that time, we got bigger into our YouTube channel because we had the time at home. And then fast forward to gyms are shut down indefinitely. And it was like, oh, okay,
what are we gonna
now
do?
what, And so that's when we started our follow along videos. And it started because we filmed the workouts to send to our clients to be like, here's something you can do at home. Nobody had equipment at home. You went to a gym to work out. We had nothing at home.
Body weight exercises too.
Yeah. We had nothing at home. And so we really focused on body weight workouts because one, we didn't have equipment to film with. But two, that's all really most people had. You were lucky if you had some mismatched dumbbells laying in your garage, So that's how our YouTube channel started. Was we started it to create long form content to help others. And then when COVID hit, that's where the follow along started. So we already had our channel pre-COVID, but we really got to focus on it during COVID because we had a little bit more time.
And not that we just had more time. We were like forced to, just because we were like, how are we going to make money? We went from all of our business was essentially gone because we had to weren't able to go to gym. So we had a few people that kind of wanted to do the whole virtual thing, which I'd say maybe 40% of our business was just people coming to train with us virtually. But that's a lot of money that we were missing on. So we just use it as an opportunity. Like, we have to find some form of income right now.
I will say, what was it, almost 2 years before we made a penny on
we
YouTube,
didn't make, we weren't making anything
so
at the time either.
He says that in a sense of like, in the future, because I think it was almost 2 years before we made a single cent.
It was like a year and a half
off of a YouTube video. Yeah. So it was more like creating opportunities for us. So that's how our YouTube started. And then once we started to grow on that, it was the reason we started to grow, honestly, was we saw people, they started to leave comments of how the workouts were helping them, not just physically, but mentally. Like, COVID was rough for so many people. And so people found some mental like clarity in that. And they were able to kind of like, it helped them move. It helped them look forward to something to do every day. And so that inspired us to keep going and motivated us to, like you said, we were training virtually then. And so there were days that because you're training virtually, you're not driving from client to client, you were able to stack 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we did that, not thinking the mental load that had on you staring at a computer screen all day. And so when it was time for us to film, it was like a breath of fresh air because it was like, oh my goodness, okay, off the computer screen, just moving, being active, So eventually it got to where we grew that and found that we wanted to kind of make this bigger and like really found a passion in it. And that's how we kind of transformed into full-time content creators, because then it's like we found more of a passion in creating this and helping more people versus, again, giving 1 hour to a single person. It's like in that 1 hour, I can be filming a couple of videos that are going to help more than just one person.
For sure. So, and it was, not to mention even though it was like fresh to be able to do these videos after like training so many people, that had its struggles too, just because we were new to YouTube. We were new to just being in front of the camera. And then also just me being new to editing, these videos. Like, I learned how to edit maybe a year or two before, just the basic editing. So like to be able to like put these videos together was tough for me just because it was a learning curve every day. whether it's learning how to set the camera up, certain settings that we had.
Lighting.
The lighting was awful, man.
Angles in our tiny apartment.
Those videos on our channel still, but if you go back to some of our oldest videos, we filmed we had a very dark apartment. Like it had one window in the whole apartment. And that was a struggle just figuring out the lighting. And then we couldn't work out side by side. So we had to film the workout separately and I had to piece it together. It was a struggle.
It was a lot.
And it got to a point where, like when we first put the video out, it didn't do much just because we were just starting to follow along. But like she said, when we started to see some comments, and then I think we got like 1,000 views on the video. I was like, whoa, that was like one of our biggest videos. It was 1,000 view video. And that's when I realized like, okay, we got something going on here. Maybe we can continue it. And we just sort of put our foot on the pedal. And, you know, we knew we weren't getting paid for this. But again, like she said, we wanted to try to create that opportunity to try to generate some type of income on top of our virtual training that we were doing as well. So ultimately, by the end of that year, we grew the channel, the year of 2020, we grew it to 10,000 subscribers, which was crazy for us because we we barely had 2,000 Instagram followers, you know what I mean? So being able to build that together, 10,000 subscribers, and to be able to press the subscribe button is hard to do. I feel like it's harder to get people to subscribe to your channel on YouTube than it is for somebody to press follow on like TikTok or Instagram. So that was a big deal for us. And once we sort of saw the impact that we're making, we just kind of put our foot on the pedal and kept going and just continued to expand the content, make it better. We wanted each workout to feel like, we didn't want it to feel like we were demonstrating the workout. We wanted you to feel like you were working out with us. That's the kind of vibe that we sort of want to give off when we do
the workouts. We're not filming an exercise piece by piece. So we were actually doing it with all you along. You know what I mean? So we kind of want you to feel like you're in the living room with us, you know, jamming to some music and getting your workout in. So fast forward, I mean, we hit the 10,000 subscriber mark, 50,000, 100,000. When we hit 100,000, we were like, sky's the limit. Like it's so much we can do. And 250, 500, 7, like it just got to a point where we realized like, wow, we're not only, you know, achieving what we set out to achieve as far as like reaching more people, but it was not, I think my mindset was like America. But when we started to get like messages from like Mexico, Philippines, Honduras, like France, Italy, it was crazy just because we were able to not only reach people in America, but all over the world. So it's been a true blessing just to kind of get to where we are now. We're still doing what we were doing. And then now, fast forward now, we're doing it full time. This is our full-time job. We no longer really train clients anymore. We might do some programming here and there. We do at some point want to get back into training, but this is, I mean, with a child and we had to honestly choose one right now. And we know how many of you just benefit from our workouts on a daily basis. So this is something that, you know, we're blessed to be able to do full time. So going into that, that's pretty much the breakdown of our entire I have one thing to add there. So with the YouTube, like he was saying, like we love training, right? And so we had to choose one, but that's where most people don't know we have an app. And with the app, that was something we started in 2021.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
2021. And once gyms opened back up, we personally do more circuit training. That's how we were doing a lot of follow alongs at home because that's kind of what kept us motivated and moving and things like that. But personally, when we go to the gym, work out, it's circuit training. We'll do our own follow along videos at home, but we got a lot of like, oh, are these the videos that you do every day? And it was, no, we don't do this every day. This isn't how we built the muscle. And so we wanted to share that too and help people that wanted to kind of progress and have a more fine-tuned look at their programs. And so that's kind of where we focused on the app. So now, like, what a blessing to be able to have both, where if you do want more of a circuit style training program, you can join us on the app. If you love the follow alongs and that's what's keeping you moving, then you have the YouTube videos. So we have like kind of the best of both worlds now, where we're able to kind of offer both of the things that we love to do, that programmed training and then just videos to keep you moving, you know? So yeah, that's, like you said, that's our full time now. And it's not just YouTube. We also have the app with has thousands of people on it utilizing every day too. So it's a lot of people that we are helping throughout their journey, and it's amazing. It's just kind of like what we set out to do with One Body LA when we first started.
And when we first started, especially when we started to really grow on YouTube, we really wanted to connect with all of our subscribers and people doing our videos. So we would comment back to every comment. Comment. Like we would spend like hours a day just commenting back to people because we wanted people to feel seen and heard and really like, we base a lot of our content on what people want to see. Mm-hmm. So that's what helped us grow. So we knew that was important. But obviously you get to a point where, you get 1 million subscribers. You can't respond to every comment. We get hundreds of comments every day. But that was the cool thing about the app. It allowed us to
have that
messaging and really connect with people who really want to get better and focus on themselves. So basically what Toya was just doing was plugging the app. So if you haven't already, go check out the Juice and Toya app. I'll link it down in the description, or maybe we can pop a QR code or something on the screen to just go download it. You get a week free to check it out. I mean, we have a whole community of people on there who are crushing it every single day doing a lot of our programs.
Use those discounts that we mentioned in the housekeeping.
Use that discount. I might pop that on the screen right here too. But yeah, check it out for yourself. Again, it's not for everybody. We don't think, some people just aren't ready for the app, and that's okay. We have the free YouTube workouts for a reason. Again, there's tiers to it to where, if you still want to get in some good workouts and you don't have the budget for it right now, again, we're going to continue to always drop videos on YouTube. But if you want to really invest, again, $15 a month, or you can get the annual subscription where I think it breaks down to $6.50 or $7 a month. We try to make it more than worth the money that you're spending on yourself. So go check that out. Link in the description. And then you also have access to a lot of the videos that we haven't even dropped on YouTube yet. So that's another benefit. We kind of use that as a way to people to preview the videos. Sometimes you give us some ideas to add to the videos, and then that video might be a little bit different on YouTube. Just because y'all helped us make it better. So that's one of the benefits from the app. You just get it sooner, and it helps us to kind of make things better. So with all of that said,
if you hear screeching, our son is awake. So which is kind of perfect segue to kind of wrap this up with our Q&A, because we dropped a Q&A on our Instagram and on the app. So we're going to try to do some of these Q&As at the end of different podcasts based on the topic of the podcast. So if you're not following us on Instagram, follow us at Juice and Toya. We'd like to just see what you all want to hear. And then we also drop these prompts on our app as well. So we asked you all, what do you want to know about us? What questions do you have about Juice and Toya, our channel? One of the biggest questions was, what does personal day look like for you all? What does a day to day? Yeah.
So in a perfect world, because no day is perfect, we can have plans to do certain things, but that doesn't mean it's going to go that way. But in a perfect world, I wake up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock to get my workout knocked out at 5:30 in the morning. I just like to get it done. There's something about being done with your workout and at home, showered, ready to go for the day at 7:30. That feels good. Toya gets the baby up. Feeds
at
him
5:45.
It depends on what you can hear him right now. He's playing.
We got about 4 minutes before he loses his mind.
But basically, she gets him ready. She makes breakfast. We all eat breakfast together. I think that's the best part about each morning. We get to just have family time in the morning, and then I take over the feeding. Toya goes to the gym. I put him down for a nap. Toya comes back from the gym, and that's kind of when the day starts. So either we're maybe filming a workout. So usually on days we film, we won't work out. But we might film some stuff for Instagram or do some busy work for the app. Honestly, it's broken throughout the day. We kind of take turns as far as watching him, but we don't have any
family, nannies, sitters. It's us.
Blink if you need help.
No, it's nice though, because we kind of have a structure where, like you said, we know he goes to the gym, come back, pass the break. I'm still full-time breastfeeding also, and so it's hard for me because I don't leave for more than a couple hours. People keep saying when they start eating solid foods it gets better. It didn't. It was a lie. He breastfeeds more and eats 3 solid meals a day.
Well, he's also doing push-ups and planks and stuff.
He's a solid man. He likes to eat. He loves his milk, which is fine. I love that I'm able to work from home because I'm able to continue breastfeeding. So I don't complain about it because I know there are people that wish they could breastfeed more. And
sure.
so, the man likes to eat. And so, our day is pretty much from, I get back from the gym around 9:45, 10. And from 10 to 4, we are passing the baby back and forth between what work we have to do. I can pretty much write emails and we can play with him, keep him entertained. And he takes 2 to 3 naps a day. And so if we have to meet, it's usually during a nap time. But the day pretty much is we work out in the mornings from 10 to 4, we work. And then from 4 to 7, it is. It's like,
I don't know what to call it.
I don't know what to call 4 to 7 is a very vicious time in our life. It's a shift. It's the 4 to 7 shift.
Moving. It's cooking,
it is
feeding, bath,
maybe another nap. I take him on a walk to get that other nap. 4 to 7 is rough. And if you've ever asked either one of us to do anything between 4 and 7, the answer is usually no. It is, if anyone asks us to do something between 4 and 7, I get anxiety. I start getting hot. 4 to 7 is rough every single day. So, but that's the normal day for us. Next question.
But it's been cool to just. One thing about me and Toya, I'll add, we've always been great teammates.
Yeah.
And we kind of sort of develop roles where it's not really, we just kind of naturally develop certain things. Like I'm the bather, she's the feeder. Like we just kind of naturally develop these roles. And so it's kind of seamless. It's never just us trying to figure out who's doing
Who does what.
We just we both, if we see it needs to be done, we tag team and we both know if we get it done individually or whatever needs to get done, and it just makes both of our lives easier. So next question. How
has parenting affected your work and fitness?
Oh, it's been great. Of course, there are some things that we miss. One, we do miss working out together. Yeah. That's something that we love to do. We kind of motivate each other. And even if we don't do the same program, but just seeing her across the gym, getting after is just motivating enough. Who doesn't want to see their significant other going hard and motivating? But with that, it was an adjustment period. I say between January and April was the hardest for us because that's when we started working and filming. And we were trying to find pockets of time to where we can efficiently get things done. But once we sort of figured out the system that we just said with our schedule, things got a lot smoother. And we just realized too, it's just been fun to still be able to work, but spend time with our son just because he's always on the move. He's always watching us. If you've seen him do the little push-ups and stuff, it's because he literally watches us.
Yes.
We'll be working out in here and he's watching us do push-ups and it makes him laugh. It's entertaining for him. So we realize how powerful that is just to see him on the move and active. So that's been a cool thing to me, just to kind of see how he sort of soaks all of that in.
Yeah. And for me, it's definitely affected my fitness. I was just talking about this yesterday. I used to be able to go to the gym, take my time, maybe an hour and a half if I wanted it. And that didn't mean that whole hour and a half was working out. I would spend a little more time on mobility. I would go to the sauna. Now, because I'm breastfeeding, I'm on a time. And if he gets back a little later in the morning, I don't it really is just between 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes that I have to work out and get back home. And majority of that is because then if you're breastfeeding, once your breasts get full of milk, there's no working out. It's painful. And so, it's I have now had to really actually focus on my workout. And when people come talk to me at the gym, I'm like, no, I'm on a time crunch. I got to get this in and get out. And so it's just really made me be way more efficient with my time in the gym, which is a good thing. I feel like parenting or not, it's always great to be efficient with your time. So it's really taught me that, how to really be efficient with my workouts. And if you didn't see on my Instagram, I lifted heavier postpartum, 10 months postpartum. I lifted heavier the other day than I ever did in my life pre-pregnancy. So it has paid off to be more efficient and more fine-tuned. So in a way, it's been a good thing becoming a parent because I now lift heavier, and it's because I'm just way more efficient.
And focus, man. You have to focus when you're at the gym. So let's get through these questions. Our goals. This is a good question. What are your goals over the next 5, 10, and 15 years?
I'll start this one with the 5. The 5-year goal, I feel like I would like to have more of a presence on the app because I feel like the app offers so much and has, maybe it's because you're able to personally see some of the transformations more than YouTube too, but I would like to really create a larger value on the app, if that makes sense.
For sure.
So I think that's a 5-year goal. We've really, really built the YouTube, and it's always going to be a goal to continue building that, just because the reach on there is just phenomenal. But I think I'd love to really present the value of the app a
For
lot
sure.
more.
And I think just growing us as a brand is just a big deal. I mean, just even over the next 10, 15 years, just because there's so many things that we want to do. But obviously just with the time, like, it's just limited, and there's only so many things we can focus on. But like you said, the app, growing our community, even growing our YouTube channel, but also for our YouTube channel, we want to make it less one-dimensional. So 90% of our content is workouts, but we do want to add more nutrition, add more lifestyle videos, vlogs, just to kind of, like we mentioned, you don't, some of you don't know anything about us, but I feel like our lives are fun. I wish, like we always say, if we had a camera on us, like a reality show, man, it would go crazy, just because like just the funny things that we go through throughout the day. And we try to make every day fun. Life is already hard enough.
Yeah.
If you're raising a kid, you're working hard, you're trying to work out, take care of your fitness, life is hard enough. So we try to make everything seamless and super fun, and really try to enjoy each other's company and never take that for granted. So I think over the next 10 years is just growing our own personal brands, getting into even film and doing different things. I mean, we might even do like some auditions and commercials, just living in LA naturally. That's just something that it's never been a goal for us, but it's just something that could naturally happen that we can see ourselves doing.
Yeah,
So
I feel like 15 years, somehow the kiddos are going to be involved.
Oh, for sure.
So that's something that we want to instill in Jakai, just movement. I don't care if he's an athlete. I don't care if he wants to do sports,
Just
but
move.
movement is part of a healthy lifestyle in whatever way he wants
he's
to
going
do
to have
it.
his own YouTube channel for sure.
That might be a 15-year
You want to
goal.
go grab it? Because obviously he wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah, real quick.
Go grab him.
You can answer together.
Okay. Whoa, welcome to the podcast. Everyone, this is Jakai, if you did not know.
You say hello.
It's our baby boy. He's probably going to end up talking over the mic or grabbing the mic. So we're going to wrap up these next couple of questions. The next question that we got, what is it like, and I kind of mentioned this, working together as a team, and we love working together. I mean, we've been working together as a team since we both got hired together.
Yeah.
So teamwork is something that has just naturally driven our friendship, our relationship, and even now with oh my God, that's the cutest thing ever. Even now with our baby boy, it's been cool to see how we've really just figured things out, because when they hand you a baby at the hospital, they don't give you a manual on how to do this stuff. They just say, here, go have fun, figure it out. So it's been fun to kind of just have us work together, do the research to figure things out.
And I think we also have different strengths. Like we have our roles within the business. And so while we do work together, we do separate things within the business. And so I think that's been helpful too. We got a lot of questions about arguing. And I feel like because our roles are so different, we don't really bump heads within the business, because it's like, he knows what he's doing within his role. I know what I'm doing within my role. We bounce ideas off each other. And like when we come up with ideas for the channel or podcast or whatever it is, we might disagree on topics, but within working together, it's been great, because we just both have our strengths that when you put both of those strengths together, it blossoms.
Yeah,
So,
if we ever bump heads, it's constructive. It's like, I might have a certain belief the way something should go, and she might have it differently. And a lot of times, whoever ends up getting their point across, that's the one that honestly ends up being successful anyway.
Yeah.
So, we just kind of know that when we do bump heads, it's just because we care and we just want the best for whatever situation we're trying to handle. So, we've always been great teammates. Even with just like I do most of the editing for the channel. Toya does most of the work for the app and the content for the app. So we just kind of have a system going to where it's super seamless, and we know if we both working hard together, then everything ends up growing. So,
all right, last question. Then I promise this is wrapping up.
There we go.
What do we do to make workouts fun? So this was a great question, because once you are filming for other workouts for other people or you're training other people all day long, I'm sure most trainers can relate to this. When it comes time to do your own workout, your energy is depleted. And so one thing I like to do to make things fun is for me, bless you. For me, I love when I increase my weight on an exercise. And so what's fun to me is seeing myself progress. And so I have to have a program that I'm following because I love looking back to see, oh, I did this amount of weight last week or the week before. Look how much I've grown. So for me, it's fun to build strength and go up in weight. And then I also really enjoy doing our follow-along workouts.
Yeah.
I try to do those on days like if I can't go on a run or can't get in my cardio, I love doing our cardio workouts because a lot of the times when we're filming, if I'm doing the not advanced version, I like to try to push myself to follow Juice, just like many of you do too. So for me, it's increasing in strength. I love that. Or even the same thing with running. I love to run. And so if I beat my time on a mile or something. So for me, it's kind of like that self-competition that makes it
For sure.
fun.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, we're both very competitive people. We don't like to lose. So when it comes to like following a program or something that we really want to get better at, it's like we want, just like everybody else. I think a lot of people don't think that, but exactly. We want that instant gratification just as much as you do. And like, we're also realistic with how fast it will happen, but we know that every day is an opportunity to get better. So we do want to get stronger and really want to focus on just getting better with our workouts. So like, it is very competitive based. And then also too, I think Toya, like even the last couple of weeks, she has come home proud. Like she's like, can't wait to talk about like, oh, I just lifted.
I text it to him.
Yeah, she'll text me while she's at the gym, just saying like what she did. So I think that's super cool to really push each other to get better. But one thing,
dad.
say it.
Say dad.
Don't lick the mic. Okay. All right, cool. But yeah, that's just one way to make it fun. And like you said, we do our own workouts. And obviously for us, it's competitive because we see ourselves on the screen. So I always want to go heavier than what I'm doing on the screen. I want to go faster. So that's just kind of a way that we make it fun and challenging for each other. So
great questions. Thank you all for sending those questions
Jakai, do you have any questions for us?
Can you say dad?
If you hear some scratching, it's because he's grabbing the mic. But anyways, we appreciate all of y'all for joining us for the first podcast. I don't have a dad, man. That's one thing I forgot, man. I didn't do a dad joke.
That's all right.
Today.
The next podcast will have 2 dad jokes.
We might have 6.
Yes.
Yeah, dad jokes.
Yes.
But yeah, if y'all don't know, we like to end each episode just with a little bit of comedy, some dad jokes. But go listen to some previous episodes if you haven't already. We dropped over 22 episodes right now that you can go listen to, or you're in the car at the gym. If you need some valuable information, look through those topics. It's a lot of great topics. But with that being said, we appreciate you joining us for this podcast, just kind of learning more about us. Follow us on our social media pages. We have our individual pages at Juice, TONTX. And then you got Toya Sherelle, but also follow us on our Juice and Toya page for updates and things that we're posting and dropping on the channel. And then also check out our Juice and Toya app if you haven't already.
Yay.
Get that first week free. Check it out. Join the amazing community of people who just want to get better each and every day. We got the programs. You can message us. But with that being said, he's hungry.
Yay! With that being said, thank you all for joining us. We're happy to be back. Can't wait to be consistent with this again.
Send us some topics.
Send us some topics that you'd like to hear, and we will see you all at the next one.